Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto was an outcast Uchiha in the time of the Sannins. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way. If you're new, yes, I did have 3 channels. That's right guys, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead and check them out guys. And also, don't forget to turn on that bell notification. With the amount of what if I post a day, it's gonna be a bit confusing. So remember to click that red subscribe button and the bell notification stay posted. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump into this new episode start? The intro. So the last time we left off, it was 5 years since. 5 years since the attack when Naruto had saved Tsunade. As Naruto was currently sparring with Mito at the moment. The both of them were clashing blades. Naruto had a rather unique blade that came from his family side. As both him and Mito clashed blades against each other, he wasn't using his Sharingan nor was he using any advanced jutsu or anything else. Just pure blade clashing against her. But she still outclassed him in that field. She was a Kinjutsu master after all, as she defeated him right there with that Kinjutsu. She came out on top. Tobirama came by after Naruto rested a bit, as he wanted to see how far he has come. A spar. It was then that he pulled out the Thunder God blade, as both him and Naruto started to fight. As he realized the flaw in Naruto's technique, Naruto was trying to use his Shunshin, but there was a time lapse that would eventually make him not ready for anything. Tobirama proceeded to show him why. As he cut Naruto on the left cheek and the right cheek, the time lapsed too much. I experienced Shinobi can end his life rather quickly. But Naruto didn't know how he would use it then, because the time lapse was still there for any Shunshin. Doesn't matter how fast he uses Shunshin, there was always a simple time lapse. That is when Tobirama showed him something rather shocking, as the man was able to move instantaneously. Naruto was confused as Mito told him that that was a higher Shin. Hearing that, Naruto wanted to learn it, but Mito told him that it was individual sealed, so it would be rather difficult. But the both of them spoke like Tobirama wasn't even there, as he simply grumbled to himself. It was then that Tsunade came by as she had her baby brother Nawaki. As Mito told Naruto to hold him, as Naruto held him like he was a fragile egg. As he watches the baby coo at him, he was rather adorable. The time finally came as a week passed. It was time that he graduated. As Tobirama had spoken to Sasuke, as he wanted him to take on a team. He had the perfect team in mind for him. When they arrived at the academy, the names were called. Tsunade was hoping that she'd be on the same team as Naruto, or even Sakumo, one of her friends at least, but she was hoping Naruto mostly. But she was placed on a team with Jiraiya and Orochimaru, under Hiruzen Sarutobi. Naruto heard his name as he and Sakumo was on the same team, and there was another member, his name was Might Dai. Dai was a taijutsu person, he did not possess ninjutsu or genjutsu. As they met him, the boy had an eccentric attitude. Yes, he was rather loud and youthful as well. They met their sensei as they were told to meet them at training ground 48, as Dai grabbed their hands and rushed them straight over there. He was incredibly fast, like insanely fast. As they arrived in due time, it was then that Sakumo and the others stood there. As Sasuke told him to introduce himself, which he proceeded to do. As Dai told them his dreams. Just because he didn't have genjutsu or ninjutsu, Naruto and Sakumo did not really care about that. He was a part of their team now. As Sasuke led them away, He watches Hiruzen, his son, introduce his team to each other. Once that was done, he gave them their objective. Their objective was to watch Hiruzen's team and wait until the two individuals who got the bell, and they were supposed to sneak up on them and take that bell and bring it back to him. A difficult task indeed, but that was their first goal to accomplish. So with that, they head to the trees. Hearing that Dai didn't have any ninjutsu or genjutsu, he thought they were going to see him as less of a shinobi, but surprisingly he smiled and told him that there is no need to worry, they will pick up the slack. Dai hugged them rather happily, as he finally had comrades that respected him for his taijutsu skills. So with that, they waited. Jiraiya got tied up almost instantly by Hiruzen, as with a quick move from Orochimaru and Tsunade, they were able to get the bells in the end. As he saw them working together, slicing the bells off the car, they got them. But that wasn't all, as Sakamoto and Dai vanished, leaving Naruto there. It was then that Hiruzen noticed something was wrong, as he noticed the mist, and this was not any water mist, it was a genjutsu. The child was rather advanced in his eyes. He leaped away as he landed beside his father, who explained and told him to just watch. So with that, they proceed to fight. Tsunade and Orochimaru getting rather cautious as they heard footsteps. Tsunade was taken away as she fell into a pit, as she saw Naruto in the air with her. That calmed her down, but she looked into his eyes. He apologized, but she already fell unconscious, as it had to be done. As Orochimaru did not stand a chance, as Dai gave him a brutal hit and dropped him on the ground. And the group had successfully got the bells. So yeah guys, basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the page of yourself, and yeah, what do you say we just leap right into this new episode, guys? Begin now. Both father and son Sarutobi were in the tree as they watched Sakamoto whistle. A few minutes later, Naruto walked out with a sleeping Tsunade in his arms. As the both of them wonder how did Naruto pull that off in the pit without even a scratch on Tsunade or himself. Sakamoto jumped down as he made his way. "Are you guys done?" he said. They paused and turned towards him. "Yush! Mission complete, Sensei," said Dai, as he held out the bells. As he had a roll-up scroll in his hand, Sakamoto had been the one to write what they all had observed. As Sasuke took the two items from Dai, "Just one scroll of intel," he said. "You will have more chances with more scrolls," as he wanted to see if they would second guess. "No, Sensei. The intel is perfect. We trust in Sakamoto," said Naruto, as he also glanced towards Dai, who was holding up a big thumbs up, his teeth sparkling. Sasuke watched them carefully as he unrolled the scroll. He nodded to himself. "You all pass," he said. The three of them cheered as Dai pulled them in for a hug, as he handed said scroll over to his son. As Hiruzen was curious as he opened said scroll, Hiruzen's eyes widened as he saw all the flaws and weaknesses that was in the fight a moment ago for his team. How they could have accomplished and blocked their weaknesses if they had looked around their surroundings better. But there was a last line. Squad 6 could have done a lot better if they had pulled their resources together, just like how we did. Signed, Squad 7. Hiruzen had to say this group was something else, as he watched as they placed Orochimaru under the shade of a tree and check if he was alright. As Tsunade started to ripple on Naruto's lap, as her eyes started to flutter open, her consciousness kicking in, as she yawned, only to look right in the face of the smiling Naruto. She was confused. How did she get here? As she didn't remember everything. You attacked me," she said. He lowered his gaze as she asked, "Why?" "We were given a mission by our sensei to take the bells away from you. As soon as you get them, I was the one that volunteered to take you down." She knew why he would have done so. She would have done the same and go after him if she was in his shoes. But that wasn't the point. "So, you used my trust for you," she said. He nodded shamefully. After all, it was the truth. His teammates decided to do the most intelligent thing, as they remained silent, so she would not turn her wrath on them. "I didn't want you to get hurt." His voice was soft, as he really hoped that she did not hate him for doing this, thinking that he was only making an excuse. Her eyes softened as she placed her head back on his shoulder, as she yawned. "Don't do it again." "I will never," he said, as she leaned into his shoulder, as she cuddled up more against his shoulder. "Don't wake me up," she said as she fell asleep. As Naruto leaned against a tree and smiled at her, his eyes getting a bit droopy as the wind fluttered through his hair, as his head rests down on hers, as her head was on his shoulder. As Dai looked towards Sakamoto, are they always like this? As he looked towards the cuddled up blondes, Sakamoto sat down and nodded. As Dai decided to sit down as well, to take a well-rounded rest with his youthful friends. Meanwhile, where is everyone? Sensei, Orochimaru team, flat chest. You forgot to untie me, didn't you? Jiraiya shouted where he was, as everyone seemed to have forgotten about him. The birds started to whistle, and he felt like they were mocking him. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have slept through the rope escape due to class. And now I'm stuck, he said, as he started to gnaw the rope and bit down on it. Time skip, Hokage's office. Tobirama did not even glance up at Sasuke flicker in his room, as he sensed the man coming from a mile away. How did they do, he said, stamping another paper and placed it on the completed work. Squad 7 passed with flying colors, as Tobirama heard the pride in Sasuke's voice, as he finally looked up to see his old friend plop down on his couch, as he was already going on a cigarette. Tobirama raised out his hand and snapped his finger as water out to the cigar, as he snapped his gaze up towards him. You should really lighten up on those, Tobirama said, as it sounded like he was scolding him. He pulled it out and threw it away, but he did not light another one. You saw it all, didn't you? Asked Sasuke. Kagami, he taught that boy to be something else. He might very well surpass him, if his skills in genjutsu, I saw earlier, was anything to go by. As Tobirama nodded, as he had already figured that out already. How did Tsunade do, he asked. Sasuke frowned a bit. She passed through. Her strength is scary. He mumbled with a shiver running down his spine, seeing what she could do with just a fist at the ground. As he could only imagine how much stronger she would get as she grew. A small smirk came on Tobirama's face. She would really be a menace to all of the boys who would dare to approach her when she grew up. He would have to do a lot of work for those beaten up guys, well after beating him up himself. You know they included Dai in the group as well, Sasuke said, as he remembered the bonding that he saw within his team. Despite not having nin or genjutsu, they included him without a hesitation. I chose his team, consider that, Tobirama said. He was ready last year, but each of the squads wouldn't have focused on his positives. Instead, they would have focused on the handicap that he brought. It would have hurt his dignity. Teamwork can be built up in time, but mutual respects and bonds are what keep things going. This is what we envision to have when we build this village 3-man team for Jennings. You thought it out quite thoroughly, huh? Said Sasuke. Tobirama got to his feet as he looked through the window. The village that he swore to protect with his life. Teams are an important part of any shinobi life. Each member must complement the other and try to hide his or her weaknesses and bring their strength when it is needed. No one shinobi is perfect. This is why I had the system of team placed in the first place. If Dai was to work alone, he would not survive a day in the shinobi world, but with friends and teammates to back him up. I envision his potential to be quite a lot, just as his 2 teammates. Sasuke nodded as he got to his feet and cracked his neck. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then. Let's see them take on missions and let's see them team bonded before they're ready to go to the entire world. As he flickered away, leaving Tobirama there. Tobirama thought about it. He had a hunch that these 2 teams would become a sight to behold in the near future. The next day, Uchiha compound. Knock, knock. Naruto pulled up his blanket to ignore the noise. Knock, knock. Kame, said Naruto to himself. He pushed away the blanket and got up with a yawn and tired eyes, as he looked to see that it was still an hour from daybreak. Knock, knock. He groaned. He was still so sleepy, as he got to his feet, wondering who wanted to see him at this time, making his way. Welcome to the Uchiha residence. He spoke in a yawn as he covered his mouth, only to see the dazzling smile of Might Dai. Yosh! Naruto covered Dai's mouth before he could wake up the entire Uchiha residence, who would be happy to show him demonstration with their fire ability. Keep it down, said Naruto. It's 4. Dai gave him a thumbs up. It was then that Naruto noticed the half-dead Sakamoto that was behind Dai, that looked like he would have died at any moment now. Sakamoto, said Naruto. Sakamoto was leaning on Dai to keep himself standing. He came to my house first. My father literally threw me out, telling me to take this loudspeaker with me. Sakumo mumbling annoyance, Naruto would have laughed if he was not so sleepy himself. As he looked towards Dai, who was wide awake and happy. What do you want to this at this time, Dai? Said Naruto. As he made a mistake because the fire in the boy's eyes lit up as he grabbed Naruto's arms. Naruto's eyes went wide as he was dragged out. This is a perfect time for an early morning jog. He boomed. It's not even morning yet, both of them shouted. But he started to move and dragged them along. Yush! That makes it much more youthful. Let the power of youth explode! As Kira saw her master disappeared, she yawned as she used her tail to close the door and went back to sleep. 4 hours later, Knuckle River. Sasuke Sarutobi looked at the sight in front of him. Dai was giving him a nice guy pose, while both Naruto and Sakumo were on the ground, looking like they were dying. Dai, what happened to them? As he did not expect to see them this early in the morning looking like they were dying. Yes, Sensei, I took them for an early morning jog to stroke their flames of youth. Sasuke sighed. He had an idea of where this was heading already, but I seem to have stroked their youth too much. They're barely flickering right now, Sensei. He muffled in a serious voice with a sagely nod, but they were ready for the day. Alright, you two, up you go. As he picked them up and dusted them off. The both of them barely on their legs, but they smiled. Let's go and get our first mission, he said. That made him happy. What do you think we're gonna get? I bet we're gonna go scout out enemy borders, said Sakumo excitedly, as Sasuke led them towards the mission office. Nah, I bet we're gonna protect some princess or a daimyo from some dangerous thugs. Sasuke shook his head, hearing their dreams. Oh, the joys of being a sensei. Time skip, mission office. You're going to go to a nearby village and haul the crates contain your food supplies and record all entries back to the village. Squad 7, I expect this to be done by the end of the day, the voice of Tobirama said. All of them stood there as they looked at him, as they wondered if he was joking. This is a joke, right? Sakumo said in disbelief, as he got a blank stare from Tobirama that made him feel quite stupid. But Ji-chan, we're shinobis, right? Said Naruto, as he was confused. Tobirama nodded without a word. This was the most interesting time for him, when the newfound Genins came to him thinking that they would get high-rank missions as they started. You are shinobis indeed, but what do you think that you would get? You have no past records. What client in their right mind would hire you for a job? All three of them now saw his point. These simple missions are assigned to each new squad, so that they can get used to their teammate out in the field, while their Jonin sensei fine-tune their teamwork, so that we can get you onto more serious missions. But these aren't as chores, mind you. You must report the crates, put them back over towards the court, and carry all of them back to the village, and rearrange them in our warehouses. You may very well be attacked by bandits out there, so do not take any mission lightly. He scolded the three of them, as Sasuke took the stroll with a smirk. He knew it was ridiculous. After all, who would want to steal rice and sweet sack right now? But to get it done by the end of the day, that wouldn't be easy. That Sasuke knew. Alright team, he said, let's get to it. Time skip. On the edge of the assigned village, that is the warehouse you're supposed to empty and haul all the content back to the village. Sasuke pointed towards the warehouse. Sensei, how far is that? Sakumo said. 20 miles give or take. A horrified look came on Naruto's face. But that looked 5-story high. How are we supposed to haul everything back to the village within a day? As Sasuke simply smirked. What do you think the Hokage assigned shinobis to do? A civilian job. He needs them back, and he needs them now. Well, time is ticking, get to it. Dai smiled brightly with a thumbs up to his sensei. As he turned, Yush, my youthful friends, let us not waste any time. We shall do it by the end of lunchtime. If we cannot, we will tie a hand behind our back and climb the Hokage's monument. Both of his teammates sighed and face palmed to the ground. Only you, Dai. Only you, said Naruto, as he watched as the eccentric boy rushed off. As the both of them sighed. Time skip at the warehouse. Well, shit, said Sakumo. The warehouse was filled, and a cart that could handle about 20 of them was there. With the village about 30 minutes away from here, they will be able to make at least 20 hauls. And that was at speeds when they were jumping through trees. They didn't account in the fact that you have to pull them. Sakamoto, there is no way we can do this by sundown. I think Sensei and Jichan have really lost it, said Naruto. As Sakamoto's sweat dropped at his answer. Yush, said Dai. Don't say such youthful words. Nothing is impossible until the time it is. It's just a matter of doing it right. As Naruto looked towards him, so you have a plan then, Dai, he said. Of course not, said Dai, as both of them collapsed down to the ground hearing that. He was so joyful and so ready, and yet he had no plan. That is what we have Sakamoto for. Sakamoto fell on his face once again hearing that. As he sat on his butt and looked at the large warehouse, an idea started to come to mind. Naruto, you have ninja wire, right? Yeah, I always keep it with me. You know it already, said Naruto. As Sakamoto nodded as he thought of taking his teammate Shuriken Jutsu and used it to their advantage. Dai, he said, can you kick that crate? Dai walked over and kicked the crate as it skipped quite a distance away. Sakamoto looked up to all the ropes that were tying the crate together. A smile came on his lips as the two of them realized he had a plan. Alright, here's what we'll do. Naruto, you will start to build some zip ways with your ninja wire and line them up with the crate over there. I will cut all the ropes, making them fall, and Dai, you will kick them onto the zip way. Dai nodded as he didn't see a problem with that. Finally, Naruto can calculate how to arrange them accordingly, and I'll do the documents. The three of them quickly scattered as they got to their jobs. Naruto sharing and sprang to life as he pulled out the kunais. He attached the wires before he started through them. The pattern was incredible as it was flawless and perfect. His eyes showing the correct path. Everything was lined up rather quickly. Sakamoto leaped as he pulled his blade and sliced through the thick ropes. As Dai smirked as he saw Naruto through the shurikens down below to show him the points. As everything was lined up. Yosh, he said as he moved forward. Sakamoto stepped inside as he expected them to be cursing about their backs, only to see them move like a blur, boxes being thrown upon ninja wires. Sensei, move it, they shouted as they rushed past him, running back to the village. A cigarette fell out of his mouth. The guards at the gate were shocked when they saw the Genins rushing in, as they started to count everything while moving. A couple hours later, as they still were counting. Alright, next, said Naruto as they moved once again. Sakamoto was still moving down, as he was documenting everything as Dai kept on kicking them on the wire as they came sliding down. As Naruto arranged them perfectly. As Sasuke was rather shocked, he stood there when Sakamoto walked up towards him. Sensei, mission completed, he said. He took the file from him. Alright, well done, he said. Take a breather, he said, seeing that all of them were on their last legs. But he was still shocked. Time skip. Hokage's tower. Tobirama sipped his tea, waiting for the last team to come in. He was confused when Sasuke arrived and placed a scroll on his desk. Mission complete. Squad 7 reporting in. Wait, are you serious? He asked in confusion and shock as he opened the scroll with shaking hands. And it was perfect. Did you help them? He asked. Nope, it was all of them. You should have seen them. I never seen someone use Shinobi art to haul crates like they did. It was like a mass production factory there. Only instead of machines there were 3 blurs of golden, silver, and green. Have a seat, Tobirama says. He pulled out a bottle of steak and 2 saucers. This is something I have to hear to believe. Sasuke simply chuckled as he leaned back, as the man was surprised that he actually got it done. Time skip. 6 months later. Hokage's office. Mission room. Mission accomplished, Hokage-sama. Squad 7 reporting in, Sasuke said, as they were in the mission room at the moment, with the 3 chonins on each side, with the papers in front of them. Tobirama sat right in the center. He took the paper and scanned it with his critical eyes. Everything was neatly formed and documented, just as he came to expect from their team. There was many others that he had to point out mistakes in their reports, but for this team he didn't have to, and for that he was glad. Report received and approved. Well done as always, he said. This was their 10th C-rank mission, and they had put great effort into as always. Alright team, you're all dismissed for the day. Meet me tomorrow after resting up, and we'll see what we do from there on. The 3 nodded to their sensei. Alright, let's go and get some food for the day. It's been a while since we were able to hang out after our missions. But Naruto shook his head. Why, what's the matter, my youthful friend? Asked Dai. Sorry, but Kagami asked me to come for a clan meeting today. I have to go, but I promise I'll be there next time, he said. It's alright, you go and do that. But next time, said Sakamoto. I'll see you tomorrow, guys, said Naruto as he rushed out. Sasuke smiled seeing his blonde subordinate. He had this calming aura about him that just made everyone happy around him. Tobirama, on the other hand, he watched the symbol on the boy's shirt as he rushed out. As Sasuke noticed that he was not focusing. Is something the matter, Tobirama? He asked. Tobirama gaze snapped towards him, realizing that he had spaced out. He shook his head and started to work on the papers on the desk, but his mind was somewhere else. Sasuke started to walk out with a shrug, only to be stopped. Sasuke, tomorrow, said Tobirama. As Sasuke was confused. Take the day off, he said. Sasuke was confused. Why, he said. He asked in a way that said that he wanted answers. The chonins in the room started to feel a bit of attention. Tobirama finally relented, seeing his friend stare. As he broke the silence. I have to borrow your subordinate for a day tomorrow. You may give the other two a leaf. As he returned back to his papers. As Tobirama left, without saying anything else. Time skip, with Naruto. As Naruto made his way, but he came to a stop when he saw a figure, sitting near the Naka River. As Tsunade waved her legs back and forth, her feet dipped in the water. She hadn't been getting in time with all the jobs that her grand uncle has been assigning them, and it wasn't as cool as she thought it was gonna be. Hey, she heard in her ear. As two arms wrapped around her, a chin placed on her shoulder. She already knew who it was as she leaned back into the touch. As he released her and sat beside her, she placed her head on his shoulder. When did you get back, Naruto asked. Just today. How about you? Me too, he whispered. The both of them sat there just enjoying each other's presence. It had been hard to do lately with all the missions. As Naruto watched the sun dipping into the horizon. I have to go, he said. No, she said. He chuckled and kissed her right on the forehead. These tender actions always warmed her heart. As he wiggled away from her grip, she frowned and placed her hands on her waist. Come on, let's go, he says. He poked her in the forehead. She grumbled. She hated when he did that. As he walked slowly towards his clan compound, as she hummed quietly. Usually she will be all talking right now, but she just wanted to relax in the moment. Time skip, Uchiha compound. So, she asks, where are we going? You'll see, he said, as she scooted close to him. Moments later, the Naka Shrine. Where are we? Tsunade asked. This is the Naka Shrine, the shrine to the Uchiha, patron deity. Come on, he said, seeing look on her face. Be a sport, and pray for a fortune. Kami won't be angry if you pray. Alright, she said as she watched him clap his hands, and bowed his head and closed his eyes. As she watched his calm face as the wind blew his hair, a smile on his face, like nothing could faze him. His eyes opened as she turned away, her cheeks becoming a bit pink. As he rang the bell. Did you pray? He asked. She huffed and crossed her arms. She was not going to tell him that she spaced out, and forgot. As Naruto knew that she was being stubborn again. She was a reliable kunoichi. She did not believe in kami or in deity. But everyone had to have faith. That is what he was taught by his mother after all. He went behind her and took both of her hands, as he clapped them together. Come on now, he said. She could feel his breath over her cheeks, and it made her cheeks burn a bit. I don't want to, she said. But she was just half-hearted, as he reached up and closed her eyelids, wiping his hand down. Everyone has to have faith, Suna. It helps when you need something to rely on. Trust me, okay, he whispered, as she felt silent. She couldn't say no when he asked to trust in him after all. That was the thing that she couldn't say no to. Please fulfill the wish of my Baka friend, who is being as stubborn right now, said Naruto. As he placed the coin and rang the bell. As she frowned. Idiot, she said, kicking a rock so she wouldn't look up and for him to see her cheeks. As they made their way back towards that gate. I have a clan meeting right now, so I have to stay for a while. You should head on home, it's getting late, he said. Are you shrugging me off, she asked. He pulled a hand from his pocket, as she watched to see what was in it, but he poked her in the forehead. I'll see you tomorrow. Now, you're gonna make me late. Off you go, he said. She waved goodbye, with a puff to her cheeks, as she made her way off. As Naruto watched her leave with a smile. It isn't every day that you see a senju at this place now, do you? As Naruto turned, Gigi, he said, as Kagami stood there. As the both of them went inside for the gathering, side by side. It's your first official one, huh? As Naruto nodded. It was compulsory for every Uchiha, a shinobi, or with the Sharingan to attend clan meetings. But their gathering had spaced out since the formation of the village, with just a couple of them here except for when it was emergencies. What's it about, said Naruto? As the man roughly is here. Nothing really, just a bit of budgeting and going through some clan stuff. You just listen and see what it's like, alright? After all, you'll be attending all of them. Naruto nodded as the both of them went inside the main hall. Sure enough, nothing of importance was really talked about, except for a few legal stuff that didn't really concern him at the moment. The next morning, there was a knock. As Naruto went to check it out, he was surprised at the guest. Welcome to the Uchiha residence, he said. Tobirama nodded curtly. As Naruto stepped aside to usher his guest in. I hope I'm not making an inconvenience by disturbing you so early, Tobirama said, as he sat on the couch and took the glass of water offered to him, with a nod. Of course not, Ji-chan, said Naruto, as he sat in the chair, as the cub jumped and curled up in his lap. Tobirama did not even think about the cub, so lost was he in his thoughts right now. So, said Naruto, confused by the man's strange behavior, but he did not mind it though. How has your missions been? Tobirama instantly cursed himself as he saw the blonde raised eyebrow. After all, he was Hokage. They've been fine, said Naruto. Can I have some tea, Tobirama said, as Naruto nodded, and went to get it for him. As he came back, how do you like your house, Naruto, he said. I love it, said Naruto. What if you were offered a better, more comfortable, and larger? But Naruto cut him off before he can complete his words. No, he said, as Tobirama saw the hardening in the boy's eyes. As he continued, I'm considering allocating a new place for the Uchiha clan. Naruto's heart skipped a beat at his words, and widened up his eyes. Tobirama could sense his shock and decided to elaborate. With the Uchiha clan handling the village police force, I'm assigning them a bit more power by thinking of relocating them to the outskirts city, where a larger area that they can maintain with their force, and its base of operation nicely. It will be within the empty sector of the east walls. As Naruto tilted his head, won't that be like isolating us to a corner, he said. Tobirama sighed. It was a thing that he was thinking exactly. And that is why he has been postponing it so long. Yes, but it is for the good of the village. We can't have the police force prisoners being kept in the middle of the village. And it will give the Uchihas an easier time to handle them, someplace where they're closer to them. I won't leave, said Naruto. I won't leave my house. This is my family legacy. Even if the clan leave, I won't. He spoke flatly. Tobirama sighed as he already figured that out already, knowing that this will be what the boy said. But this will become a desolate part of the village, Naruto. Until Naruto cut him off. I don't care. Even if this becomes a graveyard, this is my house. It's my property and I won't abandon it for anything. He spoke firmly. Tobirama had heard that tone many times before. It was how Mito spoke when she was stubborn on something, and she would not let it go. It was no surprise that he inherited a bit of that, with the both of them being so close. If that will be all, Hokage-sama, I have some things to take care of. Tobirama's eyes widened at the dismissing tone that he heard coming from the child. But it was strange. It was the way that Naruto referred to him. Hokage-sama. It's been a very long time since he called him that. Tobirama got to his feet as he knew the boy was not happy in one bit. From what he was just told, he wanted a Uchiha opinion, honestly, on how to affect the clan. But apart from Kagami and Naruto, there wasn't much others that he can talk to, on a level like this. Hokage-sama. As Tobirama paused and turned back towards the boy, you know Kira and I have been together for a long time now, said Naruto as he rubbed the cub's head. Tobirama knew that it wasn't exactly about the cub he was talking about, as he was going on to something else, so he just waited and listened. Sometime I have to hide her in the closet, while I hand her her favorite pillow. If someone comes to visit and doesn't know about her, she's always comfortable staying there, for a little while. No, Tobirama did not know where he was going with this, as he picked her up as she licked his cheek. But after a while, she gets restless, said Naruto. And finally, when times become too long, she starts to fidget and get nervous, before she claws her way out of the closet. Isolation and confinement can be cruel, strange things. Are they not? Said Naruto. Tobirama understand exactly what the boy was saying. Yes, they can be strange things indeed, Naruto-kun, he said. Thank you for the tea. It was nice as always. I'll come by to help you with your pet project later on. Tobirama set his eyes focused on the door. As he turned the knob and walked, he muttered a few words. Right here, he said, before he left, as Naruto heard him and he understood what he meant. Time skip. Hokage's office. Arriving, Tobirama found Sasuke, Hiruzen, Koharu, Danzo, and Homura waiting for him for the meeting to commence. He took a seat. He wasn't going to beat around the bush, as he got straight to the topic. As you may wonder why I've called you here, I wish to discuss the Uchiha clan relocation terms, and what I will do before I make my final decision. Sasuke decided to speak his mind first. I'm against it, he said. The idea doesn't sound too pleasing to me. Make a nice little headquarters over there for them to manage a prison, and let them stay where they are. Relocating the entire clan for such a petty issue is not a good idea in my honest opinion. Sasuke spoke his mind as Tobirama nodded, as he already figured that much from the man. Hiruzen was about to speak after his father, but their views were the same, as he did not think moving them was a good idea either, but he was cut off before he could do. I think that we should relocate them. The Uchiha clan has always been under suspicion by you, Sensei. Why not keep them there under strict walls, and a tight eye on them as well, said Danzo Shimura. Tobirama expected that already. I have to agree with my father, said Hiruzen. But Sensei, why isn't Kagami here? He is scheduled to have a meeting within his clan regarding some matters that were not discussed last night. But he has already given his opinion to me. He's against it. They already figured that much as they nodded. The clan heads wish for them to be placed under lock and key as well. And I'm afraid I agree with them since the Uchihas has always acted first on their clan welfare rather than the village. It comes second to them. So this way they can be a use of the village and not be too much involved in it as well. Homura said, fixing his glasses. I have to disagree, Sensei. The clan heads has always been envious of the power and freedom that Uchihas enjoy. They are almost just a self-autonomous section of the village themselves, and it wouldn't be the least bit worried to break away if need be. But they fought through in the last war straight to the end, and they have not shown any sign of disloyalty until Koharu was cut off. And what of Aizuna Uchiha all those years ago? That man wrecked a good chunk of the village. In his vein of insanity, Danzo spoke up harshly as Koharu scowled at him. The actions of one man do not make up for the whole clan, Danzo. As Sasuke nodded. Plus, aside from the loss of life, everything monetary was paid off by the Uchiha clan from the family accounts without any resistance whatsoever, said Sasuke, as everyone turned their gaze towards Tobirama to hear what he has to say. The table in front of them was laid out with past statements from each clan meetings. Each of them knew what it was everything was at a stalemate. It was the same thing when the talks came up in the council meeting beforehand. The Uchihas were against it, but they would have no choice in the matter should the village decree it. Sasuke got to his feet. He already knew how suspicious Tobirama was of the whole clan, and his decision, he already knew what it would be. There was absolutely no point wasting time here discussing this anymore. The relocation of the Uchiha clan is denied. Sasuke paused, his cigarette slipping from his mouth. Each of them were shocked. What? Said Danzo. I think I made myself quite clear. The decision was at a stalemate with only mine and the feudal lord's signature in the matter. Regarding relocating the clan, everyone that was higher up knew though. The feudal lord had no say in this matter. It was only that he brought the funding, but the final say went to the Hokage if he was going to relocate the clan or not. It was just a matter of getting the proper clan grounds. That is the decision I made. Have a prison built on the fortified lands that will be under the authority of the Uchiha clan. The relocation will be quite a hassle in these times. The empty land will be used for the prison and for the training of the Uchiha new recruits for the police force. Sensei, you're giving more power and authority to the Uchihas? A new HQ and bolster in division means more power to them. Danzo asks as he was still not able to fathom what his sensei was actually saying. He got to his feet. That is exactly what I'm saying. Have it announced now the Uchihas are in charge of internal security matters. As he was done, as he stepped out of said room. Sasuke went after him and fell into step. Tobirama was a man of logic, but yet, he went on a gut feeling. The reason being, finally, when the time became too long in that closet, she started to fidget and she get nervous. So she decided to claw her way out to escape. The words rang through his head as Tobirama walked. The certainty in Naruto's voice. It was definitely there. If he gone through with this, he felt like the clan would definitely rebel. And that would be detrimental for Konoha. With one of their founding clans rebelling at this time, that wouldn't be good at all. The image of Konoha alone would plummet. As much as he didn't like the clan, they were one of the founding clans. But he would not allow the Uchiha clan to rebel. But the thought of going against logic, he was acting just like Hoshirama. And it was all because of that boy. He thought to himself as he made his way to his office. This is unlike you, Tobirama. As he stood in his office. I knew. As Sasuke nodded. Hell, when he figured that Tobirama would be the deciding factor, he had already made images in his mind. Seeing all the Uchihas packing up and leaving. But now, he got this from Tobirama. That was surprising. What changed your mind, Sasuke asked. I merely had a new perspective on things. That is all. But the Uchihas are not out of scrutiny, he said. Now he sounded like Tobirama he knew. The new division I'm creating directly under my command will be keeping an eye out for them and be reporting directly to me about their functions as a police force and themselves as well. If they so much of think of picking up a mere plank of wood that could harm this village. The man said dangerously as Sasuke felt it. But he calmed down the next second though. I will maintain order and authority in this village like I have. As always. Neither the Uchiha or anyone else shall change that. As long as I draw breath. Sasuke nodded with a proud smile as he decided it was time for him to leave. He decided to just not question a gift horse. Because the Tobirama that he knew would put the Uchihas aside without a twitch of his eye, but now someone was able to change his mind. For what it's worth, he said, it is the right decision within my mind. And thank whoever it is that changed your mind so much. As he walked out leaving Tobirama, thank him yourself. He's your subordinate after all, he thought, with a small chuckle. But now he had to go through the paperwork from stopping that. Kami. Curse that demon that created paperwork. The next morning, office. Squad 7 reporting for duty, said Sasuke. Alright, Squad 7. A small village nearby is being troubled by bandits. All of the Genins perked up, as this sounded like an important one. You all shall be traveling to the village that is half a day away from here. The mission details are in the scroll. This will be your first B rank assignment. Do not disappoint me, he said, as he got a nod from all three of them, with wide smiles. However, Naruto had a bit of confused look in his eyes, but he said nothing on it though. You all wait outside. I'll have a little chat to the Hokage and join you in a minute, said Sasuke. As they nodded as Naruto left with a lingering gaze on Sasuke and Tobirama. Before Sasuke could speak, it's time, Sasuke. It's been 10 missions and 6 months for them. The necessary time and mission count is done. You will not interfere on this mission, just observe. After hand them their orders and report the results directly to me. You may leave. I've said what I wanted. You have your orders. Sasuke said nothing as he turned his back towards the door. Sasuke, the voice of Tobirama came out. As he turned and caught the stroll. Take them there on your way back and scout this area. Think of it as a secondary mission. Only take them there if any one of them fail their tasks, and have them complete it there. Otherwise, send them back and scout it yourself. Dismiss. Both of them knew what this was. As much as Sasuke hated this, it was time for them to grow up. As he put his hands in his pocket for a cigar, but no, he was not in the mood today for a smoke. Time skip, the small farming village. Sasuke came to a stop when the village came into view. As the group stopped. What's the matter, Sensei? Let's go. We're almost... Sakumo was cut off though. I will not be involved in this mission whatsoever. As the group was confused by that, but they waited to hear him out. But why, Sensei? Aren't you supposed to lead us, said Naruto. As he shook his head, no. Not this time. Many times I will have to go away on a separate mission that I cannot involve you three in. And you three will have to take care of the part that is suited to you. It's time that you stop being coddled and grew up to be a shinobi. as the man was dead serious. Sensei, why are you being so serious all of a sudden? Asked Dai, as he sounded a bit nervous. As Tobirama merely flicked a scroll open, the mission scroll as he read out the orders. Alright, as you all are aware of, we're here to take out the small bandit camp. They had done this once before already. Beat up the civilian wannabe and tie them up before the local authorities take care of them. But something was different about this one. Sensei, we have done this before, right? But it was all C rank's assignment. Why is this a B rank? Sakumo said. Sasuke looked into those innocent eyes. This will be the last time they will be so innocent before they harden up. You three will go in and eliminate the bandit camp leaders and burn it down to the ground, leaving no survivors. What? Said Dai. The bandit camp is led by a small contingent of men that reside in the main building in the middle. Go in, eliminate them, and seal their bodies in these. He handed them sword scrolls that were meant to seal away human corpses. They took it numbly, not quite, taking all this information well yet. Then burn up the whole camp, blow it up. Leave no traces, no survivors behind. That is your mission. As he looked at them with a heavy heart. But, Sensei, why do we have to kill said Dai? Yeah, why could we just tie them up and take them back to be arrested, instead of killing, said Sakumo. Because, he said, that's stern clear. Your orders are to eliminate them. This is your superior officer orders that come directly from your Hokage, the village that you serve. So that means you will eliminate the threat to the village today. Sakumo looked down, but as harsh as Sasuke was, he knew that is what they needed. Sensei, Naruto's voice came out. What if we, as he lost his voice, Dai, losing his voice as well. What if you couldn't do it, right? Said Sasuke, knowing that was what they were trying to say. As the three of them nodded timidly. Remember, I told you, I could strip you your ranks of shinobi if I didn't deem you fit. At any point. As the three of them nodded timidly. Well, this is it. Failure to achieve your objective will result in your headbands being stripped away. He lied. The three of them looked at him in shock. But he did not waver one bit. He was completely serious. I have another mission to fulfill. You three head on out. When I return, I expect the camp to be demolished. And those scrolls, he said, should be filled. Do not disappoint me. With that, he body flickered away, leaving the three of them there. Their mind rattling with this new information that he had to. They were going to kill someone. Not just that, they should leave no survivors, burn the entire camp down. This will be the change in factor. This was when they changed from mere shinobis to men. This was when they grew up, knowing how harsh the world was and knowing that sometimes they will have to do the dangerous jobs to end the life for the greater good, for their village. Yes, this is their chance. This was their defining moment. As the three of them looked toward each other. But guys, be in right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stick around for the rest of what's coming your way and making 2 and anime king. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.